Deployment automation is the centerpiece of the FlexDeploy DevOps platform. Deployment automation features integrate with build automation and release orchestration to provide a comprehensive solution. In a broad sense, deployment automation enables two foundational capabilities. The first is resource automation and management. Think of this as infrastructure and operations as code, leveraging both platform features and plugins to automate the provisioning, configuration, and ongoing operational management of resources such as infrastructure, databases, and middleware running on-prem and in the cloud. Resource automation and management helps achieve speed and consistency while removing cost and risk. Resource utilization increases significantly, and your administrators are happier since they spend time in less mundane work. The second capability of deployment automation focuses on the movement of code, configurations, and other artifacts into the environments that are being managed as code. Like the benefits of using an infrastructure as code approach to deployment automation, this second capability helps achieve faster, higher quality, and more consistent deployments to support the CI/CD lifecycle. To support deployment automation, FlexDeploy includes platform features used across all technologies and plugins which integrate with specific tools and technologies. For example, security and topology are platform features that enable segregation of duties by role and communication with cloud and on-prem tools and technologies. Let's review other platform features by using this Java backend project for the Olympics application, which is deployed using containers. A FlexDeploy project defines artifacts which can be built and deployed. Looking at the configuration of the Java backend project, you'll notice the integration with Git for source control and the build workflow. Those are build automation features which the deployment automation leverages since deployment requires a build artifact. The deployment workflow provides the heavy lifting for automating the deployment activities. This deploy chart workflow will be executed every time a request is made to deploy a version of this Java backend project, whether the deploy is requested from this UI, via a post-build continuous integration trigger, or from a REST API. The workflows use the plugins to perform the deployment of the artifacts and automate other processes as needed for the deployment. Let's jump into workflow details to better understand the deployment automation activities. Workflows use workflow and plugin operations to automate the deployment process, with the plugins providing the technology-specific capabilities that eliminate the manual activities and scripting. Let's look at a few examples for infrastructure as code, middleware, applications, and containers. An example of infrastructure as code are the use of Terraform and Ansible, which are both popular tools used to automate cloud and on-prem resource provisioning and configuration. Other examples of plugins for managing cloud-specific infrastructure as code are Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, Amazon, and Azure. FlexDeploy provides the flexibility to use both general tools such as Terraform and Ansible, and the technology-specific plugins, giving you control of the approach that best suits your needs. Middleware examples include deployment of artifacts for integration with API management. Think of artifacts such as Oracle integration and APIs, MuleSoft integration and APIs, and Google Apigee API platform. FlexDeploy supports deployment automation for traditional middleware as well. Examples include Oracle's WebLogic and SOA Suite, IBM WebSphere, and Tomcat. You'll notice the WebLogic plugin includes operations for not only deploying an artifact into the WebLogic server, but also for managing the many servers and processes related to the operation of WebLogic. The same type of server management operations are included in many plugins and help automate the entire process for deployment and operations for middleware. Oracle's eBusiness Suite is an excellent example where the deployment of changes can be time-consuming and error-prone. The FlexDeploy plugin for eBusiness Suite includes operations to deploy the objects and files related to the customizations, and operations which automate the administration of eBusiness Suite, such as starting and stopping servers as part of the deployment process. Containers are becoming very popular, and the plugins for Docker, Kubernetes, and Helm can be used to automate the deployment process. For example, the Kubernetes plugin can be used to deploy a Docker image, or the Helm plugin could be used as we saw in the Java backend project configuration earlier in this video. As we discussed earlier, we can execute deployments via REST, after a successful continuous integration build completes, or as part of a release pipeline execution. In this case, I will deploy the Java backend project version 1.0.208 into the development environment. I could have deployed an older version of the Java backend to troubleshoot an issue or to roll back to a previously working version if a deployment caused issues. You can see the details of the deployment if we drill into the workflow execution. In this video, we focused on the basics of deployment automation. There are other videos which dig into capabilities related to deployment, such as continuous integration, test automation, and integration with other tools in your toolchain. Governing and controlling the deployment process and visibility to deployment-related activities are also important platform features within FlexDeploy, but were not covered in this video. For more information or to request a demo, go to flexagon.com/flexdeploy.